Hello, my name is James Joyce. The date is April 23rd, and this is my persuasive speech for public speaking. Here are my 4 note cards, numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. Mixed martial arts is one of the fastest growing sports in the world. Many organizations such as the UFC and Strikeforce have made insurmountable progressions with the sport by advertising, by promoting fighters, by doing all the right things, despite all the criticism of the United States government, as well as reporters and boxing fanatics. What many people do not know is that mixed martial arts is not legal in all 50 of the United States. The reason that many people feel that mixed martial arts should not be legal is that it is too brutal. John McCain has referred to it as human cockfighting. It is also not as profitable as boxing, not as entertaining, and nowhere near safe. However, all of these points can be easily debunked, as what I will plan to do in this speech. First off, mixed martial arts has recorded 0 deaths since its creation, or since it became mainstream with the UFC and Strikeforce. So that's according to MMAforum.com. That means UFC, one of the largest MMA promotion that stands for the Ultimate Fighting Championship, has recorded 0 deaths, as well as Strikeforce, as well as any other big-time association. According to EJMoss.com, the United States and U.S. territories alone have recorded 751 deaths in boxing in the past 2 years. As you can see, these numbers are extremely different. 0 compared to 751, it's not hard to do the math. The reason that boxing is more dangerous is because in boxing there's only striking, which means there are only punches, and all these punches are thrown to the head and to the abdomen. And with these reoccurring blows to the head, there's not so much of a stratified array of areas to target the body. In mixed martial arts, you can target the legs, you can shoot for a takedown, you can wrestle, you can grapple, you can go for a submission. All these different aspects of fighting allow for there not to be such a redundant pounding on the brain and on the abdomen, which leads to many boxers' careers being short because they took so much punishment to the head, and it's very dangerous. Secondly, mixed martial arts is very profitable. Since its creation, the UFC has been blown up out of proportion. It's not hard to realize. Even a common person has heard about the Ultimate Fighting Championships. Even someone who's not a fan, the promotions, the broadcasting, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. The UFC 112 was just held in Abu Dhabi, India, 2 weeks ago. As you can see, it's spanning across the globe. There was a UFC in Germany. There's going to be everywhere in the world. In China, there was one in Australia. It's a worldwide sport. Everybody can grab onto this thing. It's very entertaining for everyone. What most people do not realize is that mixed martial arts is not legal, both pro and amateur, in New York, South Carolina, West Virginia, and Maine, and is not legal as an amateur sport in Florida, Utah, and Colorado. What many people do not realize is that amateur MMA is extremely crucial, just as crucial as pro MMA, because young fighters need to build their career. They need to get that experience so that when they turn pro, they do not get slaughtered, they do not get beat terribly, because they have that experience, they have that background in the amateur circuit. And in states such as Florida, if these amateur circuits are not offered, then it'll take an extremely long time for these fighters to get up to pro level because they just don't have the experience. Thirdly, states don't realize how much they can benefit by backing these organizations. As I said earlier, states such as New York and South Carolina, West Virginia, and Maine do not have pro or amateur MMA, and that's according to IKFkickboxing.com. These states do not realize how much they can gain by allowing pro mixed martial arts. The UFC engrosses millions upon millions upon millions of dollars in revenue from pay-per-view buys, from selling out the venues, from selling T-shirts, paraphernalia, all kinds of things that go into making these productions extremely profitable. And if these states really get on board, they stand to make a lot of money. Lastly, the U.S. and critics of the UFC need to realize that even though boxing gloves are much larger than mixed martial arts gloves, which can be seen with the naked eye, that does not make them more dangerous. Due to the variance in blows to the body and the variance with the ground game, it is much safer to allow for mixed martial arts. It is much more profitable. It is much more entertaining, which can be seen with just how much the UFC has grown over the past few years. And if the UFC and if the United States can get on board, they can realize just how much money is to be made and how much entertainment is to be had by people of the United States.